Hey, what's up y'all? I'm back with another video. Seeing as we're getting deeper into the expansion and the new patch won't be out for a little bit, some players are beginning to run out of current content and looking to do whatever they can to continue to play the game that they're paying 200,000 gold a month for, or at least players like me who can't be bothered to spend real money on a video game that more than pays for itself. One of the pieces of content that you can be partaking in is pet battling, a turn-based minigame in World of Warcraft similar to Pokemon, where you can catch, kill, collect, and even cook different animals in the wild for just about no reason. In this video, I'm going to be going over my team compositions as well as the strategies that I use to quickly and easily defeat the 8 pet battle world quests around Khazalgar, as well as some of the unique pet battle rewards that are obtainable with the new expansion. That all being said, let's just get right into the video. The rewards for pet battling this expansion are pretty typical, with a handful of battle pets as well as toys that can be acquired through polished pet charms. If you're someone like me with thousands of these lying around, you've more than likely cleared out the vendor located here in Dornegal, but if you haven't, these are the items that you're going to be able to acquire from it. The expansion itself has seen the addition of over 80 new battle pets around Khazalgar and from vendors, and if you're interested in looking at a list of all of them, I may leave a link in the description as to how and where to obtain all of them. I might not though. It entirely depends on how I'm feeling when I hit the upload button. Now that you've gotten somewhat familiar with the types of rewards that you're going to be able to obtain through pet battling around Khazalgar, let's get into the fights as well as the strategies that you can use to easily complete the 8 pet battle world quests around the zones. The first pet battle world quest that I wanted to cover was Rock Collector, where you battle Collector Dyna and her collection of elemental battle pets. For this fight, I take 2 mechanical Pandaren dragonlings as well as an Anubis-Hath idol. You could easily run triple mechanical Pandaren dragonlings, especially seeing as the pet is almost 5,000 gold cheaper than the Anubis-Hath idol to acquire, but the Anubis-Hath idol is more fun to use. For the fight, you're going to want to prioritize the use of Decoy as well as Thunderbolt, using them off cooldown if available. The fight itself is pretty straightforward, just using breath until your pet dies and repeating the process until the fight is over. Other guides you may find may try and metagame your team composition in order to maximize efficiency and minimize the number of turns required, but this composition works well for me and is pretty mindless, being a free W every single time. The next battle pet world quest that I wanted to cover was Robot Rumble, where you're fighting an elite mechanical battle pet. For this fight, I take 2 mechanical Pandaren dragonlings as well as an Anubis-Hath idol, seeing as if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For the fight, you're just going to want to prioritize the use of Decoy as well as Thunderbolt, using them off cooldown if available. The fight itself is pretty straightforward, just using breath until your pet dies and repeating the process until the fight is over. Much like the Collector Dyna fight, the combat is extremely simple, with very little strategy involved other than throwing your mechanical Pandaren dragonlings at the mob until it dies, making for a free dub. The next battle pet world quest that I wanted to cover was the Power of Friendship, where you're fighting Friendhaver Grem, who is 1 beast and 2 critter battle pets. The strategy that I use for this fight is pretty similar to the previous 2 world quests, meaning that you shouldn't have any issues beating it as quickly and as easily as possible. For this fight, I take 2 mechanical Pandaren dragonlings as well as an Anubis-Hath idol, seeing as it's a pretty solid team composition that counters pretty well against the specific pets that Friendhaver Grem has using. For the fight, you're going to want to prioritize the use of Decoy as well as Thunderbolt, using them off cooldown if available. The fight itself is pretty straightforward, just using breath until your pet dies and repeating the process until the fight is over. This strategy has worked every time for me without fail, meaning that so long as you aren't hitting the pass button on every single turn, you shouldn't have any issues completing the world quest. The next pet battle world quest that I wanted to cover is Major Malfunction, where, much like the Custodian fight, you're going to be fighting against another mechanical elite battle pet. Unlike the awakened Custodian, however, the Malfunctioning Servobot has an awesome mechanic, where he heals himself for over half of his health after a couple of turns of inactivity. Unlike the previous fights, I decided that I would have to change up the team composition for once, seeing as the team layout that I typically go with doesn't provide enough damage in a quick enough time to take the mob out before it undoes all of my hard work by healing. For this fight, I would recommend taking Bone Shard, Icky, and whatever other battle pet you feel like. I don't really care. For the start of the fight, you're going to want to prioritize the use of Blistering Cold and Bone Storm, using Chop while the other two abilities are on cooldown. After Bone Shard inevitably kicks the bucket, you're going to want to swap to your Icky, simply using Black Claw and then Flock to end the fight. This strategy is incredibly simple and works every single time against the mob, and since the two battle pets are extremely easy to get, should work for just about anyone that is interested in completing the world quest since they ran out of content to do. The next battle pet world quest that I wanted to cover is Miniature Army, where you're going to be battling Kyrie and her 3 battle pets, being Flying, Beast, and Mechanical. Her team lineup is pretty diverse, which may mix up the average player, but I managed to find a strategy that works every single time without fail when doing the world quest. For this fight, I take 2 Mechanical Pandaren Dragonlings as well as an Anubisath Idol, since the team composition is extremely versatile, having no issues adapting to the interesting team composition choice that Blizzard decided to give this random NPC in the middle of nowhere. For the fight, you're going to want to prioritize the use of Decoy as well as Thunderbolt, using them off cooldown if available. The fight itself is pretty straightforward, just using Breath until your pet dies and repeating the process until the fight is over. While the strategy is pretty similar to ones that I've used in the past, the versatility that the team composition provides is just too good to not use in an encounter such as this one. The next pet battle world quest that I wanted to cover is the Thing from the Swamp, where you're going to be fighting an elite elemental pet. Now, unlike the previous 2 elite battle pet world quests that I covered, the typing for the pet is elemental, being quite strong against mechanical pets, meaning that I may have to change up the strategy that I've been so confident in throughout the rest of the video. Nah, I'm just kidding. For this fight, I take 2 Mechanical Pandaren Dragonlings as well as an Anubisath Idol, since the team composition is more than strong enough to endure the fight, and why would I change something that works every single time? For the fight, you're going to want to prioritize the use of Decoy as well as Thunderbolt, using them off cooldown if available. The fight itself is pretty straightforward, just using Breath until your pet dies and repeating the process until the fight is over. Even though the enemy pet is elemental, I found that the Mechanical Pandaren Dragonlings are just too strong and make for a quick and easy fight that you're guaranteed a victory so long as you do it with your monitor turned on. The next pet battle world quest that I wanted to cover is Ziriak and Ashkahet, where you'll be fighting the trainer Ziriak and its collection of battle pets, being Undead, Beast, and Flying respectively. The fight goes pretty similarly to Kyrie and Hollowfall, since, much like the encounter against Kyrie, you're going to be fighting a pretty diverse cast of battle pets. That being said, however, the strategy doesn't change much, and it's still pretty easy to guarantee a win. For this fight, I take 2 Mechanical Pandaren Dragonlings as well as an Anubisath Idol, since I figured that, much like the Kyrie fight, the versatility of the team would play pretty strongly into a weird team composition such as the one that Ziriak has. For the fight, you're going to want to prioritize the use of Decoy as well as Thunderbolt, using them off cooldown if available. The fight itself is pretty straightforward, just using Breath until your pet dies and repeating the process until the fight is over. Like I said, the fight is pretty straightforward, and if you take it easy, you should be guaranteed a victory every single time. The last pet battle world quest that I wanted to cover is One Hungry Worm, where you're fighting against an elite beast battle pet. Unlike the previous 3 elite pet battle world quests, you're fighting a pet with blood and skin, so the strategy does actually change a little bit. For this fight, I take 2 Mechanical Pandaren Dragonlings as well as an Anubisath Idol, since the team composition is incredibly versatile, seeing as since it has quite literally worked for literally every other pet battle world quest, why change it up? For the fight, you're going to want to prioritize the use of Decoy as well as Thunderbolt, using them off cooldown if available. The fight itself is pretty straightforward, just using Breath until your pet dies and repeating the process until the fight is over. Much like literally every other pet battle world quest that I mentioned in the video, as well as every other pet battle quest that has existed, the fight is incredibly straightforward, and unless you're struck down by God himself, you're incredibly unlikely to lose. Who knows though? I just work here. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. I hope that this video proved to be incredibly informative as to how to quickly and easily defeat all of the pet battle world quests that have been introduced with the War Within. With the upcoming anniversary update coming in November, I'm going to be covering some of the battle pets that you can acquire there. So if you want to subscribe so you can keep your eyes up for that video, the button is quite literally right there underneath the bottom right corner of the video player. Like I've been saying in all of my videos recently, my Discord server is officially open, the link of which you can find at the end of a short PowerPoint presentation down in the description below. So feel free to hop in and show off pictures of you killing Drakthir and Volpera, since I love seeing content like that. I'd also like to mention that my guild, The Guy, is currently recruiting for high-end PvE content as well as guild activities such as posting up in largely populated areas, as well as general shenanigans and remaining nonchalant during high-pressure situations. And if you'd like to join, feel free to join my Discord or shoot Bonesaw or IM message in-game so that we can deliberate on your acceptance. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, peace.
Thank you.